afternoon. My name is Valerie. I'm here with my coworker, Nikki. We work for New York Wired for Education Metrics Learning. Nikki, myself, as well as our coworker, Liz, are QuickBooks certified users, and we will serve as the mentors for this QuickBooks 2012 certification program. So throughout this program, we'll be here to address any questions that you have. So this program today will consist of a couple of different things. First, I'll speak about the value of certifications. Then I'll give a program overview. Afterwards, we'll give our contact information and a very brief demo of how you can access training and metrics. So first, let's speak about the value of certifications. Certifications are something that employers, of course, look for. They're very important to help you build your skill levels and validate your skills to a potential employer as well. So, and speaking about QuickBooks certification and specifically, 85% of small businesses use QuickBooks as their accounting software. So throughout small businesses and several different careers, QuickBooks is a great certification to have. And what you'll find through these programs that we've done, we've noticed that some people have no experience with QuickBooks or very little, as myself and Nikki did here, all the way through advanced. So through this program, it really does help walk you through the very basics of QuickBooks and accounting to the more advanced. So this program is a 30-day structured program. So basically 30 days from today or 1 month from today, you can expect to have taken all the training in QuickBooks and taken a certification exam. Training is delivered through Metrics Learning, which is our company's online learning system, and it's self-paced. However, you'll see that we have a program calendar to kind of help guide you through the program and different landmarks you'll want to meet. The program will consist of mandatory webinars and course completion dates. After you take all training, you will take a certification exam at the career center you're at right now. In addition, throughout this program, we'll be in contact with you, get to know us pretty well. We'll be following up with you regarding employment too. So the expectations of this program are the following: to help you learn the features and capabilities of QuickBooks, help you successfully complete training, help you to gain an Intuit QuickBooks Certified User 2012 credential, and help you increase employability and gain employment. So training for this program is automatically loaded into your Metrics Learning account, which you have received access to. Training will consist of the following. First, you will take a Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 course. This is the bulk of the training you'll take for this program. It's provided by Real World Training, which is the only Intuit-approved online training provider. The training is broken up into Day 1 and Day 2, so basically into two separate parts. So, of course, we're not expecting you to complete this entire program in 2 days. It's an estimated 12-hour lecture for training. However, we would say that for Day 1 and Day 2, it's an estimated 8 to 10 hours worth of training for those of you who are much like myself and take a lot of notes. After you complete your Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 course in metrics, you'll move on to QuickBooks Practice Quizzes. So after you complete this course, we will send you access to quizzes, and they are much like the certification exam questions you'll receive. So the exam is a multiple choice exam. So our aim with this is to give you practice with the types of questions that you'll get. So you'll receive access to 2 50-question quizzes, and in order to qualify for the certification exam, you are required to pass each with an 80% or higher. After you pass the practice quizzes, you will receive access to a certification voucher that comes along with this next item here, which are QuickBooks practice tests. So at the Certiport testing center that you're taking this through, which is the one-stop, provides the QuickBooks exam voucher as well as 3 practice tests, which directly replicate the certification exam. Having taken the exam myself, I found it was really helpful to take these because it's kind of like having a couple of tries at the real thing before you even take the exam. So again, you have access to 3 practice quizzes, which are each one-time use, and you are required to complete at minimum 1 practice exam prior to testing. Lastly, another item we have access to is a Skillsoft course called QuickBooks Pro 2009 Getting Started. This is an optional course that you can take within Metrics Learning. It's 3 hours long, and it will simulate the use of QuickBooks. There's practice quizzes and questions, and you'll kind of click around in the QuickBooks interface, whereas the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 course is strictly lecture. So you will receive access to a document that has this here calendar. As I mentioned, this is a structured 30-day program. The calendar here shows different dates. So you can see that webinar dates are in yellow, course completion dates are in orange, and then testing I'll speak about momentarily here. But today is day 1 of the program, the webinar. So in yellow you can see the program begins, and you'll begin training today. And then the next date on the calendar is Friday, October 10th. By Friday, we ask that you complete 1/2 of the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 training. So again, this will be probably 8 to 10 hours worth of training. Then on Monday, October 13th, we'll have another webinar session. We'll be back here live on the line to answer any questions that you have. We will also send you a review video that goes over day 1 of training in the Mastering QuickBooks. So it kind of briefly goes over the topics. Then on Friday, October 17th, we ask that you complete day 2 or the remainder of the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 training. We'll also send a review video for this too. The next item here is Wednesday, October 22nd. We ask that you complete the Quiz Star assessments, which are those 2 practice quizzes. Then on Thursday, October 23rd, at minimum, you want to complete one of the practice tests provided through Certiport. Then the next date on the calendar here is Monday, October 27th, which we will have a review and certification process webinar at the Job Center's Computer Lab. So we'll go over what you can expect moving forward into certification testing. Then on Friday, October 31st, we'll have a live Q&A session. So this is optional, and this is just to ask any remaining questions that you have moving forward into testing, which begins on Monday, November 7th, and goes through Friday, November 6th. So here you'll want to schedule a certification exam. They're 50 minutes long, 50, with the Job Center here. So additional materials you'll receive. Afterwards, Nikki and I will send a follow-up email that has the following. You'll get your Metrics login information, which you've already received. Also, you'll receive access to a paper version of that program calendar I went over, as well as a document called QuickBooks Tabs Menus. So the way that the course player is, the tabs across the top are cut off. So we've taken screenshots and put them all in the document so you don't miss out on any information. In addition, additional materials for this program are the Mastering QuickBooks Learning Manuals. So for day 1 and day 2 of training, there are 2 manuals that kind of act as a guide bringing you through the training program. Those are accessible in the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 course. I'll show you how you access that momentarily. And each of these manuals is approximately 100 pages long, so they're pretty long. You can either choose to print them, or as I did, I just saved them to my desktop so that I could search through. And I found this helpful because the manuals, you can do Control F or Find to find different topics. For instance, if you found that you were struggling with reports, you could Control F and go to the Reports section automatically. So I just found it was easier to have that on my computer. Contact information is listed here. So as I mentioned, Nikki and myself and Liz will be program mentors for this program. We are accessible in a couple different ways. First, we will mainly be contacting you through email. Our email addresses are listed here. There's the nywiredtrainer@gmail.com email, as well as the support@metricslearning.com. So you can expect to hear from us from those 2 emails. Also, we're available by phone, and we list our hours here. So we're here on the East Coast, actually in Albany, New York, and we're available 8:30 a.m. to Friday p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5:30 a.m. to 2 Pacific Time. So if something arises during those hours, we're very instantaneous in getting back. But if it's outside of those hours, we will address it the first thing we do the following business day. So that concludes the presentation portion of this. I'll briefly show you how you can log into the Metrics Learning System now. You should have already received your login information for Metrics, as well as the URL that you'll visit. So once you log into the system with your username and password, you'll be brought to the Getting Started page. This spells out the 6 steps to metrics, but as I mentioned, all of the training you'll be taking for this program is automatically loaded into your My Plan. To get to this, you'll go to My Plan, View My Plan. So your My Plan lists all the activities that you're taking. You can see here the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 course, which I'll show you in a moment. In addition, you'll briefly want to view the certification tutorial and the info sheet for the QuickBooks program. So you'll need to access all of these in order to have completed everything in metrics. To launch an activity, you'll want to click on the green arrow button under Action. So this will bring us to the course player for Mastering QuickBooks. You can see here there's a navigation pane across the left side of the page, and there's different links. So in order to start training the different topics, you'll click on the different links, and you can see that once you start a topic, the bubbles on the left will turn to yellow. If you haven't started, they're gray. If you have started, they're yellow, and if you complete a topic, they're green. So you'll want to make sure that all of the bubbles all the way along the side for day 1 and day 2 are filled in green. I'll talk about computer settings in a second here, but if you find that your course is not recording your score, for instance, you've gone through day 1 or day 2 and the bubbles still are yellow or they're green, let us know and we can adjust that for you. Just contact us quickly. I mentioned also the manuals for day 1 and day 2 for the program. If I click on Manual D1, you'll see that a PDF document appears that I can download. So again, I can either choose to print this or save this to my computer. And the Mastering QuickBooks Day 1 manual, Day 2 manual, they're really helpful because they kind of guide you along with the program training. So to briefly talk about computer settings as well, if you have any questions about your computer settings, what you can do is you can click on Browser Check and Metrics. This will check to see that your computer settings are compatible with metrics. So Internet Explorer is the internet browser that we recommend you use for metrics learning and this program specifically. This is because this is the most compatible internet browser there is. Firefox and Google Chrome will work with the training. However, with those bubbles that I showed you previously, and Chrome especially, you'll notice that they don't fill in. So you might find that if you're using Chrome, these don't fill in. But again, if you come across this, let us know. We can adjust for you. Also, you want to make sure that your pop-up windows are allowed because courses pop up and launch in a separate window. And you'll want to make sure that you have the most recent versions of Java and Flash in order for courses to run. In addition, one more thing is if you're using Internet Explorer 10 or 11, which I know that I do because it's one of the more recent versions, you'll want to make sure that you run Internet Explorer in compatibility view. So to do this, what you'll want to do is click on Alt to bring the window up, and then go to Tools Compatibility View. So you'll want to make sure that Compatibility View is selected so that the course will play. And again, if you do have any questions regarding technical, you can email us, give us a phone call, or this last item I'll show you here is how to create a support ticket. You can go to Help and then Support. We have a couple of troubleshooting things here in Metrics Learning, but if you would like to contact us through Support Ticket under step number 3, you can do that here. You can give a title and a description to the problem that you're having, and we'll see this as well as your computer settings if anything needs to be adjusted, and we'll respond right back to you. So at this point, this concludes everything I have for our portion of the webinar here, and I'm now open to any questions that you have. So Beverly, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to type them in the chat box here as we've been doing, and I'll make sure to address them for you. And again, just to mention this, I will be recording this too, so you'll have a YouTube version of this program that's accessible for you. Any questions? Oh, here we go. All right, so we have a comment here that someone's lessons will not load here or at home. So regarding this technical issue, because this is technical in nature, I will follow up with you, Nancy, for this. But we'll keep the questions to this program specific to the webinar, but after this session, I will be sure to send you an email also, which will give you a link so you can check your browser settings to make sure they're compatible. Do we have any questions regarding the program or training? If you do have any questions, too, you can feel free to shoot us an email after this if you think of something. All right, I'll give it a minute or two here just to see if anyone has anything. Okay, well, if no further questions, I'll go ahead and conclude the webinar here. Again, thank you all so much today for your patience and for being here for this program. I'm glad everyone was able to be on site for this and participate. So again, if you have any questions, we'll be in contact throughout this program, but feel free to shoot us a phone call, email, support ticket, and we look forward to working with you all through this program and helping you get that QuickBooks 2012 certification. All right, have a great day, everyone.